Speedway Tavern. Speedway Tavern. Speedway Tavern. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today? Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Webby, GA, and Matt are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
Challenge matches, usually they are fillers, but last week's match, Birmingham versus Coventry, it felt different. It felt that it had some importance. It proved something. It proved that Speedway in Coventry is needed and wanted. I really enjoyed what was a thoroughly entertaining meeting, and it left me thinking that I hope Bomber never learns to gate. Only in Speedway. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
How's everybody?
All good.
Well,
all
thank
good.
you.
How's your bottom squeaky bum time yesterday? For
Pardon?
yeah,
How's your bottom? It was a big pause there.
Yeah.
That was quite a bum note to start the show on, really, wasn't it?
Oh, it's going to get down.
it's going to go. It can't possibly go down from that, can it?
No, it can't.
Yeah, they won by 2 points last heat decider. Luke Beck passing. Who was it?
Tobias Muesli.
Yeah, to get the second place that they needed. Yeah, it would have been a good meeting for the.
It was a good meeting. The only thing that's punctuated it a little bit was the fact that there were a lot of long delays, which I suppose you expect from a TV meeting. But
Right.
I would say Sheffield they didn't have that many heat winners when you look down the programme. Jack Holder won one. Tobias Muesli won a couple of races. And Carl Howarth won the last heat, and Justin Sedgman won heat number 2. But they avoided a lot of last places, Sheffield, and I would say it was quite a lacklustre Wolves performance in fair.
Thank God for
But
Becker.
yeah, I mean Luke Becker at the moment, I would say he's our best rider. I think he's been superb the last few weeks. After a slow start to the season, he's really started to find his form again in recent matches. But we had some very good racing, especially towards the end of the meeting, and I suppose it helps as well that it's close. It's good for the cameras, I guess, although it's not really good for the Hot Riders fans who were there.
Yeah.
But no, it was a very good meeting, and in the end, I mean, Sheffield, I think, will be disappointed that they didn't take more than a point, but I mean, you know, Sheffield obviously, to all intents and purposes, and Wolves, in fairness, are both in the top 4 now. So whether that's a dress rehearsal for the Players semi-final, who knows? A lot of it's, of course, I think it's going to depend on who finishes top of the league, which I know it's Ipswich.
Isn't it
top
first
at the moment.
place?
First place fourth, and second place third. So, so as things stand at the moment, it would be Ipswich and Sheffield and Wolves against Bellevue, so which is probably not the one that you want to.
Tasty.
Yeah,
Tasty. Yeah.
At the moment, I think you have to look at Bellevue. Bellevue at the moment looks to be in the box seat.
Yep.
They're not top of the league, of course, at the moment.
No,
Ipswich
because they
are
had
still
such a
top.
slow start, didn't they?
Yeah, but
and then they changed their team, and we should tell everybody how they can take part.
yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you can listen to us on Facebook. We're live every Tuesday at 6:30 during the season. You can find us if you type in UK Speedway Tavern, we'll come up on all the good pages and groups. We're also available on YouTube at the same time. Just search for Speedway Tavern, you'll find us there. And we're available from Wednesday, around about 12 o'clock, on all the major podcast platforms. You can also find us on your smart speakers.
Yes,
Because it's smart. Like me, obviously.
Yeah, so smart. Let's not talk about that beard. Yeah, it's getting closer to Christmas though. Yeah.
During the war.
No, yeah. Not far off, is it? So.
Also, wherever you're watching us from, however you're accessing this at the moment live, you will find a shout box or a way of communicating with us, and you shove that on, and we will do our best to comment on your comments.
I'll just say evening to Rich, Jeff, Andrew and Pete, who are our early birds.
I mean, basically, we just pretend we know what we're talking about.
Oh God, yeah, especially
really?
you,
Especially me.
Yeah.
So, shall we talk a little bit about the Birmingham Coventry meeting? Not that you can talk about much about it, as you wasn't
due
there.
to COVID, of course, I wasn't there.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, it was. I can't believe I'm saying this. It was really nice to see so many Coventry supporters, because we've been in their situation at Birmingham, obviously, and it's a crying shame. It's a travesty that they haven't got a Speedway team. In fact, it's a travesty that they're not still at Brandon.
Yeah.
We're hoping for some news very soon on that, so everybody keep your eyes on that website.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Lawrence Rogers, hello Lawrence. He says, who's Lawrence and Pete not working tonight because obviously we haven't got a match tomorrow. I bet. Actually, Lawrence, if you want to come on, mate, let us know, and we'll talk about the under-21 if you want to, and talk about last week's meeting.
Yeah.
So the under-21 draw was announced today, and I think it will be a cracker. I mean, we'll talk more about that next week.
Yeah.
But just as a by-the-by, favourite possibly be Brennan.
Tom Brennan, Leon Flint's
Leon
obviously
Flint's
coming
a
to
good
good form. He
shout,
ran
yeah.
well last night, and of course he's had some good meetings in recent weeks, so he's going to fancy his chances as well, I think. And of course he knows the Perry Bar track.
Perry Bar track well.
So, but Brendan, I think, would probably be the favourite with the vast majority of people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously he's got quite a lot of experience of the Birmingham track.
He has this year, and of course he won it last time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, have you got Lawrence's number?
Probably.
Okay.
I'll have a look for it.
Fantastic.
In just 2 minutes.
If you haven't, I've got it.
Okay.
And we'll get Lawrence on the show because he said can do. So I just suddenly realised he's not going to be working at the track tonight, so it'd be a perfect time to get him on.
Well, we don't want to get him bored, do we? So.
No, never. Good God, I don't know what he does during the close season. BSN, and then it went away. Let's get a few more of these out.
Where are we?
Somebody said something about BSN announced something and then it disappeared.
No? You just made that up?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in your own tiny mind.
Okay, so Jeff Daniels. So 2 bone dry tracks and 2 meetings cancelled in 2 days. Kingsland cancelled because of poor weather forecast turned out. No rain whatsoever. And tonight at Plymouth, track unfit, but no rain whatsoever. All riders saying track unfit, and unfortunately it was Glasgow who had travelled there. Ouch.
So we're getting this more and more.
I guess we will find.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out more about that as time goes on.
Yeah, there seems to be happening more and more, that doesn't it? That calling meetings off on the basis of a dodgy forecast.
Yeah. Craig Smee says, evening chaps, have to say I enjoyed a very good first trip up to Glasgow on Saturday for the GP Challenge, despite some long delays due to riders being injured. Get well soon, Holder, Thompson and Millick. Glasgow track is very quick, and I've never seen a track which, with some high banking on the corners, I will certainly be going back again. Really hope they can step up to the Premiership. Seem to be a fantastically run speedway club.
They've not shown any inclination for going up yet, have they?
No.
I guess a lot of it may, I suppose the interesting thing with the Glasgow course is what's going to happen at Edinburgh next season, because obviously they've got their plans for the new stadium, which I don't.
You would think Glasgow and Edinburgh need each
with
other.
the best, with the best one in the world, you don't see that being ready for, or certainly not ready in its entirety for next year. And of course, I don't think there's any way back for them at Armadale. So who knows if Edinburgh don't run next year, then maybe Glasgow will make the plunge. The vibe I get really is that the promoters in the Premiership are quite happy for it to stay at 6 teams, which I don't.
Yeah, but is it
don't.
going to stop at 6 teams?
Well, this is it.
Because we've got the whole Peterborough
Obviously massive
situation.
doubts over Peterborough. Kings Lynn, I'm not overly convinced about Kings Lynn's future. Certainly in the top league, they've had a really troublesome last couple of years. They may need to be in a position where they need to get another.
Will there be
team to
one
go.
league next year? I mean, this is another possibility, isn't
They
it?
seem very reluctant to go down that route.
I think the rider availability might make it difficult.
Yeah.
But apparently the BSN, I found the BSN announced now. Thank you very much.
Good.
Announced they are streaming the under-21 final next week. So that'll be good. I can watch it afterwards as well. And Lawrence has told us that Seji was guesting for Glasgow at Plymouth. No, he's not.
He's not now anyway. So.
And Lawrence says, but hopefully a lot of people will still want to watch it live. I would hope so.
Yep.
I think it's a plum meeting.
It is. It's a big meeting for Birmingham. Stars the under-19s champ final.
Yes,
a couple of years ago, didn't
yeah,
they?
That's
So.
right. Yeah. I mean, obviously there are a lot of riders there from different tracks that are well known and well supported.
Yep.
There's Birmingham's Tim Brennan. There's
Even Tom Brennan should
Tom
say.
Brennan.
Yeah.
It feels like he's Birmingham's Tom Brennan the number of times he's guested for us. Dylan says you could see it on Plymouth track. It was spongy, similar to Wolves a few weeks back, and that was unfit for racing that night too. It had rained in Plymouth this afternoon. They gave it every effort to get it on, but the track wasn't safe tonight. The track's not safe. The track's not safe.
No,
You don't
absolutely,
race.
yeah.
It's as simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously some interest as well locally. Obviously with 2 Wolves riders in it as well. To next Wednesday's meeting. So. I'd like to think, there's some, I know there's been a few dropouts, but it's still quite a strong field.
It is, yeah.
So
it's going to be interesting. I mean, Leon Flint is possibly, and I'm thinking about it now. I said Tim Brennan was the favourite, but what, it might be.
I thought you said Tom Brennan.
Tom, oh God. I'm sorry, Tom.
His poor brother, Tim.
Craig Triplett says, what is your opinion on Luke Becker?
Having a really good, as I said earlier, started the season quite slowly. It took, thinking back to last winter, it was quite a long delay in announcing him in the team, and he didn't start the season particularly well. But the last,
I think he was quite critical of him.
I would say in the last month, I would argue he's been Wolsey's best rider. Certainly since Sam Masters. I mean, Sam Masters obviously made his comeback last night, but certainly didn't look as comfortable as he had done before his crash. But I mean, he's a fantastic talent, Luke Becker, and I think you look at there's been a sort of a shortage really of top American riders in recent years. Greg Hancock sort of carried the flag on his own really for the last 10 15 years before he retired. So there is space for another. Rider from across the Atlantic at the top level.
Of course, Wolves have got a good record of good Americans.
Bringing through good American riders, yeah.
I'd like to echo Pete Clark's sympathies there. Get well soon, Jacob Fallows. Broke his leg. Unlucky. Only in Speedway. That's the sport, unfortunately. And Lawrence Rogers says Luke is flying. Well, no wonder he's winning.
No, he's having a really good run of form. Really has been in good form in recent weeks, Luke Becker.
Shall we have a look at the lineup for the championship then?
Yep, of course that is tomorrow down at Poole.
And people give us your
well, this meeting
ideas.
is part of the predictions, so you can obviously have your little there. So Michael Palmtoft at 1, Leon Flint at 2, Lewis Kerr 3, Ryan Douglas 4, Nick Morris at 5, Danny King at 6, Chris Harris at 7, Richard Lawson 8, Scott Nichols 9, Justin Sedgman 10, Charles Wright at 11, Sam Masters 12, Troy Batchelor 13, Tom Brendan 14, Josh Pickering 15, and Carl Howarth at 16. And your 2 reserves are Ben Cook and Zach Cook.
I tell you what, that's a great meeting.
It's a
there,
really strong
isn't it?
lineup, yeah. It is a good lineup.
Pick one out of that. I mean, I'd like to think Bomber will do well, given what's happened with the British Championship and so on recently. But
I would have fancied Sam Masters for that a few weeks ago, but obviously just coming off the back of the injury, you're not so sure now, really.
No, I don't know how different people ride the pool track. I mean, obviously, Bomber knows it well.
Yeah.
Danny King knows it.
Danny King's obviously ridden there. Scott Nichols has ridden there many times over the years. I think
Josh Pickering.
Yeah.
I mean
Carl Howth, of course, has ridden there as well. You probably wouldn't consider him an overwhelming favourite, but he could certainly be a spoiler in that meeting. I think there's at least 7 or 8 rods in that meeting that you would Justin Sedgman on his night can mix it with the best. So
absolutely, I mean
it would be nice thing for Birmingham to have
wouldn't it?
To end the season with some silverware, albeit from an individual perspective.
That would be fantastic for him to come to the last match against Cradley.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about a little bit, not tonight.
In a few weeks, of course.
Yeah. But I'll just put this challenge out to Cradley supporters. You're going to have to do something to better the Coventry supporters in numbers and in graciousness. I have to say they were really good.
I think last week really wasn't so much about the result, was it? It was about making sure that Coventry's name remains in the forefront. And I mean, obviously, as I say, I wasn't there, but I knew that there would be a good following from Coventry come to that meeting. You look at that Coventry team as well; they all had connections.
Yes, and it was a close meeting as well. There was mismatches along the lines, but it all sort of evened out, and it made for a close
even
meeting.
Young Freddie Hodder. I mean, I think it was his grandfather who rode for the Bees back in the '60s, right. So there was a connection there. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think he didn't Freddie Hodder ride for the National League Bees team at some point?
He did.
I think he might have done. I'm not
sure. I don't know whether he did actually.
I'm sure I read in the programme, but my mind doesn't work very well. So
really,
yeah. Barry Young says, "I hope Kings Lynn drops down. Not enough meetings with this setup." Yeah, I mean, that could all end up dropping down the way it's going. Took my first trip to Scunny last Friday after work, says Spuddy. It was a long night, but some great racing. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a nice little track, is Scunthorpe.
Never been to Scunthorpe. It's one track I would need to get myself up to at some point.
It's a nice little track, got a really good outside line.
Yeah. I don't think there's much in the way of facilities up there, admittedly, but from what I can gather, but...
Well, yeah, but I mean, having said that they have a little playground area for the kids to go into as well, which more places should have. If you want to attract the kids, more places should have that sort of stuff. Yeah. Jeff Daniels says the Glasgow track doesn't suit the top European riders who get caught out by it. Experienced riders, but Bernstein's shoulder injury, Thompson broken leg, Holder broken ribs and bone in lower back, and Milik concussion. Was it rider error or bad track? Also, Wozniak said the air fence wasn't like they have in Poland, but the FIM must have passed it.
Well, it is, to be fair, one of the toughest meetings on the calendar, because it's for a lot of these rides, it's literally the last chance to get a spot in the Grand Prix for next season. Nobody obviously would have picked Kim Nielsen to win it. Well, nobody did pick Kim Nielsen to win it, although I rate Kim Nielsen very highly. He was
even more now.
Yeah, raced him as a very good rider. I think he had a spell at Leicester a couple of years ago while Leicester were in the top league and was really, really impressed me.
I mean, it's Kim Nielsen, Dan Bewley and Jack Holder with the top three. You've got to say Dan Bewley's probably there anyway. Yeah. So that brings Max Frick into it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Max Frick's obviously had one fantastic result this season in the Grand Prix and 5 disappointing results, you have to say. Yeah. I think the one will be the most disappointed really was Robert Lambert, because his place maybe now is in a little bit of jeopardy because he's not completely secure.
He's not secure, is he?
Top 8.
How many rounds is there left now?
There's 4, I think.
Yes, there's a few points to.
Yeah, there's still a lot of ground to make up.
Craig Triplet says Bomber is the man in form, and Rich Thomas says Harris. So there's a lot of love out there for Bomber.
Yeah.
Spuddy says, I think pre-injury Sam was nailed on for that, but it's a bit more close. Could see Doggy doing well. Any idea why Steve isn't in this meeting? Surely his average fits. Steve Worrell. I have no idea. Answers on a postcard? Is
I think it's whether it's because he's not top of Paul's. Well, I mean, he may be top of Paul's averages. I think he might. I don't think there's much in it between him and Danny King. So, but I suppose Danny King as captain of Paul probably is the one who gets the nod on maybe on that perspective or anything else. So, but.
Craig Smith says, I'd say Bomber and Brennan. I mean, no, but it was the first time Brennan's been mentioned. Tom Brennan, not Tim Brennan, not his brother.
I know,
Not Tony King.
Got to be the two favourites in great form at the moment. Well, that would be nice for Brennan to get both of them, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah.
Not sure about that. I don't know how he rides the pool track. It doesn't seem to be his sort of track, really.
Don't know what his record is like there this year, so...
what are Matt's thoughts on Master's injury? He said last night on TV that he is struggling. Did he fall in Heat 15 because he had done too much? Next Monday he has 2 meetings in one day against Bellevue.
Yeah, I think so. I think that fall in Heat 15, I think that it had the hallmarks of a tired fall, to be fair. It's quite quick to come back from an injury as severe as he did. I suppose really the main thing for him is that there's not really any pressure in terms of chasing playoff points because Wolves are already in the playoffs pretty much. So I suppose he just wants to get some meeting time before those big meetings start. But I worry a little bit for Sam in the Bellevue match because there's quite a bit of needle between Wolves and Bellevue that's developed over recent seasons, and I guess that's one thing Bellevue are going to be looking to try and look for weaknesses in the Wolves team, and if there's even a 70% fit Sam Masters in the Wolves team, who has caused Bellevue problems in recent seasons when he's ridden against them there, he's going to be someone that's going to be targeted. But that's understandable, that's the way it goes.
See, I think that promoters miss a trick these days that wouldn't have been missed in the past, and when there's needle between two teams, instead of trying to calm it down, they should just say a few, because it gets bums on seats. People turn up for if there's a needle.
Bellevue did that in the playoff final in 2016, really, with Ty Woofington, and kept making the fact that he hadn't ridden all the season, that he was on a false average, and it backfired on them in the end, especially after we won it, and he gave them a bit back, and they didn't like it. So,
but that's okay, isn't it? I mean, as long as it doesn't overstep the mark.
My argument has always been if you can't take it, don't dish it out.
So, there you go. Craig Smee asks, was there a big crowd for the challenge match? Coventry used to take a huge following to Cardiff even after they were forced to close. They were a big club with a successful history. I hope this makes the local council sit up and back their return to Brandon. Speedway needs Coventry back. Amen to that. It was our biggest crowd of the season, I would say.
Yeah. Really? It was that big?
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't have to be that big to be our biggest crowd of the season, to be honest. But
it just goes to show there's still a pull then, really, for Coventry.
Spuddy talking about Sam Masters. That personally concerns me. That was an awkward off last night without factoring the shoulder injuries. Hope he's not pushing himself too hard, too fast, and suffer in the business end. Well, he's a Speedway rider. What can I say?
That's it.
Yeah. I was shouting for Kim Nilsson. He started for me at Newport, says Lawrence. I'm going to ask Lawrence in a minute if there's anybody in Speedway that hasn't started for him. Carl McLean hoped Berry could get revenge on Scunthorpe this weekend after their loss on Saturday.
Yep, that's a match that we're going to be looking at later on in the predictions.
Yeah. And Spuddy says, fun fact that not very well known, Kim Nilsson nearly signed for Wolves a few seasons ago.
Yeah, I do know that. Yeah, as I say, I mean, I rate Kim Nilsson very highly. He's always done particularly well at Wolves. So
sign him, Lawrence.
Why not?
Why not?
Well, he's a JP rider next year, so there might be a few extra little noughts on the.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, don't sign him.
Yeah.
He can come and make the tea.
Nigel Tolley's just phoned in Lawrence telling him not to follow your instructions, I think.
Ever. Okay, I think there's one more hiding away at the bottom. I've got the Glasgow, and that's all I can see. The Glasgow track was well prepared. I honestly think some of the errors were rider error, throttle control. It's not an air fence at Glasgow, it's a foam fence, and it's to FIM standard. Watching it live at the track, riders did bounce off it more, and it seems to me most injuries occurred from riders hitting the track. It seems rock hard. The track didn't see much water go on it, but I believe it rained heavily in the morning.
No, there's a lot of work gone on at Glasgow in recent years, isn't there? It's become a real since the takeover. It's really become one of the main stadiums for Speedway in the UK, isn't it? So
I would be interesting. I don't know whether anybody's got any insight to this, but I'd be interesting on what the riders think of this foam fence. It's probably cheaper, isn't it? I would have thought.
Probably is, yeah.
I mean, what's it like putting it up and presumably they have to take it down after every meeting? Well, or do
It
they?
depends on how
leave it up?
permanent the track is, I suppose, isn't it? So
Yeah.
if there's dogs there as well.
Be interesting to know about that, because if it's cheaper than and easier to replace,
Yeah.
interesting.
It has to conform with the FIM regulations, though, isn't it? And Speedo Control Bureau regulations, certainly.
Spuddy has said, I heard a lot of praise for Brum, especially from Steph this season, saying the track was good this season, so next week's meeting should be a belter. That's nice to hear.
Yeah,
And
the track's been excellent at Birmingham.
Yeah.
Though they've had a few problems in recent weeks, but then again, with the weather we've had, I think.
who hasn't?
Yeah, so.
It was great last week because we had all that rain the day before.
Yeah.
It's the best track. It's the most dirt the track's had on all season, and Bomber loved it. he was.
So I'm going to try and get Lawrence in the next 30 seconds or so. But I'll be trying out a new feature, yet another new feature.
Another new feature.
Which is
Putting your trousers
which enables
back
us to actually Bluetooth him in rather than
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you're not putting your trousers
put him
back
on this.
Okay.
No.
Shame.
Can you notice from there?
I can notice this. No, let's not even go there. So let's talk about the championship again while we're waiting for Lawrence. The Championship Riders' Championship. They put a lot of thought into that, didn't they?
Yep. It's a logical name, isn't it, I suppose? But no, it looks a really good lineup, doesn't it? Really does look a good lineup. And
Who would you have as a sort of spoiler outside guess?
I'd love to say Ryan Douglas, obviously with his Wolves connections, but I think he's been off a little bit the last few weeks. Leon Flint is a potential spoiler, I think.
What about Josh Pickering?
Yeah. Would he be a spoiler? He's had a great season.
Well, he has had a great season, but his average is what, 7 something or other, I think. So, I mean, I'd love to see one of the two Brummies there.
Yeah.
You know, Brennan or Pickering. I'm sorry, guys. They've just rode for us so often. They've rode for us more than some of our own riders this year. Richard Thomas
to be
says
fair,
Pickering.
Josh Pickering's ridden a few matches for Birmingham as well.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah. I mean, I suppose Sedgwick could be a spoiler because we know
on his day, yeah,
he gets out the gate. He's very hard to catch, isn't he? So, it's all good stuff.
I would say he's probably been the biggest surprise backer for Birmingham this season because I mean when he was
there was a lot of criticism. People going, "Oh, are you joking? Are you sure?"
Yeah.
But of course, he's got history at Birmingham. And he's had
knows the
good
league,
times at
knows the track,
Birmingham.
knows the league, knows all the tracks inside out. So,
Spuddy reckons Pico's on a criminally low average. Reckon Edinburgh will have some competition to keep hold of him next season. That is for sure.
Yeah, that's obviously on the basis that they run next year because I've still got misgivings about that.
Yeah.
I think Lawrence
Might be
is there.
season too quick.
Are you there, Lawrence? Are you there, Lawrence?
If he is, he's very quiet. I can't hear him.
I can't hear.
He's probably put the phone down on you.
I can't hear a thing.
Keep talking to us, Lawrence, and
I'll try again.
We've
I
got
didn't
this-
actually hear it ring. Try again.
He's got this new gadget, and of course,
He's just desperate to try it, isn't
yeah,
he?
of course, it
I
never
can
works.
do it the old-fashioned way, I think, but it's obviously
What?
better.
What, Telegram?
Sticking things in.
Yeah.
That would work. That would work.
Come on, I'll try again. Maybe. I'll try in a few minutes.
Okay, so we're going to. So I say so. Shall we? We will continue. Yeah, go through that lineup again. The Danny King would
Yep.
be.
Well, we'll go for the full.
Lawrence said the phone has not rung. So there you go.
Okay.
Does help. If you don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I've got an old number.
Let's go for it then. Palm Toft at 1, Leon Flint at 2, Lewis Kerr 3, Ryan Douglas 4, Nick Morris at 5.
Let's go through them a bit slower and talk about each one
Okay.
as we go through.
Well, basically, say shut up there, don't you, sir? To me.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Plus the fact that I know that he's busy trying to. So we got to
Oh, so you want to buy him a bit of time?
buy him a bit of time,
Okay, fair
basically.
enough.
Yeah.
Ain't got that long. have we?
No. So Michael Palm Toft.
Yeah.
Let's give him out of sort of 10 to where we think they're going to do. I'm going to say 5. I don't think he's got.
7.
Yeah. Okay.
7.
So
Probably in the same
you've
place,
given
aren't we?
him-
So.
Yeah. I think we're nearly there. Yeah. Okay. Can I say hello,
Try,
Lawrence?
try.
Hello, Lawrence. Are you there, mate? No.
No, he's not.
No.
It's very strange.
Spuddy says Leon seems to have really turned a corner in the second half of the season. A bit like Luke Becker, really.
Yeah.
At Wolves especially, he's definitely starting to get to grips with the track.
Definitely.
I mean,
Definitely. Yeah,
it is one to learn, Wolves, isn't it?
You've got to persevere with it, really.
Particularly
just,
from a home
yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest concern going into the playoffs at the moment is Drew Kemp, because he's just his confidence really at Wolves.
Right.
He's just completely rock bottom at the moment. I don't know whether the club are going to look to replace him.
I mean,
whether they
his
can.
confidence seems to be rock bottom wherever he's riding. to
Yeah,
be
he's had a
fair.
few chances. I mean, he's a fantastic talent. I mean, you think when he first came into the National League, while Birmingham was still in there, I mean, everybody was really
It was like,
saying
wow.
big things about him. But
Yeah,
he's just
he
never,
was so
he's never,
fast.
yeah, he's just never kicked on. He's not even really in great form for Poole. I just wonder whether he's maybe this was probably his last chance in the top league. You know, I certainly don't see him being back at Wolves this season. Next season, I'll be.
Well,
stunned
Spuddy's
if he
agreeing with
wasn't,
you
yeah.
there. He says he won't be back at Wolves next season, and if he is, I won't be there. So, okay. But Leon, I mean, we've always known what a talent and how quick a learner he is. And he's just put his head down when people have been criticising and just get on with it and learning his trade. And all of a sudden, he's done that thing that Speedway riders do sometimes and just clicks.
Yeah.
I think it should be there now.
Hello, Lawrence. Are you there, mate?
I am there.
Hey, I can. I can
better.
hear you in my left ear anyway.
Yeah,
It's only hearing you out.
Yeah, which is my good ear as it happens, so that's okay.
that area.
So, a rare off night for you tonight, then, Lawrence.
Yeah, we've got the feet up instead of rushing round. It's very nice.
Yeah, don't get used to it.
I know.
You got to start crushing those digits on the phone soon to start getting all these riders to Birmingham next year.
Oh, right, if I just start doing that. Well,
Yes, sure. Yeah, if I know you, you've already started doing that. But,
Me? Was I?
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the Coventry meeting, which I thought was a very successful meeting, to be honest.
Yeah, I was very pleased with it. You know, it all went well. I try to make the teams as even as possible. You know, I was glad I could get the Coventry connection for the 7 riders there. They had to make one change. Dan Thompson went on holiday, so young Freddie Hodder came in at number 7. But he got the connection with his granddad,
Yeah.
having ridden, of course, for Coventry in the 60s. So it was pleased with that probably, but there was some cracking racing. That was the important thing.
There was, yeah. And if Bomber ever learns to gate, Speedway's going to be poorer.
He can gate though. That's a silly thing. He puts his mind to it. But
Well, let's hope he doesn't. too often, anyway. Yeah, I mean, and the only sort of poor note, if you like, on the night was Sedge's accident.
yes, I was a bit worried. I was am I down to one rider then? And it was in the sense that, give Hans Hansen his due. He was straight across there. If you see the pitch, you can see where he hits the soft patch and takes off.
Yes.
He was and he was down on the ground with him said Sedge. That wasn't deliberate. So all respect to Hans for doing that straight away.
Yeah, I mean, he did. He came straight out, and I think he apologised to you as well, didn't he?
He did, mate. We go back a couple of days and we'll get together.
Because I know there was a few unfair bits of criticism about that crash to do with Hans, but Sedgy was fine with it, and you're fine with it, and people should shut up, basically.
Hans is a hard rider, he is, but that was definitely not anything to do with him. That was just catching a soft spot, because we had all that rain the night before, which helped John in a way. But the rain was hitting a couple of soft patches, which we couldn't avoid. But John Priest does a superb job for us.
He absolutely does. He works his socks off.
And 7 in the morning till 1 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's thinking, shame we didn't have all that rain a bit earlier.
Yeah.
In the season, because the track responded really well to it. But yeah, such is
the track's been good.
Yeah,
that's the beauty.
Well, I think you might have heard one of our people commenting that Steph has been saying how good the track's been this year. So, yeah, you can't say fairer than that. So,
that's all.
Under 21 next week. Who's your money on? He doesn't look it. Oh, terrible!
Wow, you can look at that lineup. Flinty back on his old track.
Yeah. Jason
Edwards has gone well around there. Tom Brennan's ridden so many times for us this year. It is a cracking lineup all the way through. Even with the late changes coming in, it still looks good. You got Henry Atkins, the Thompsons. Drew Kemp could wake up. You never know. Jordan Jenkins can ride it well. Connor Bailey's on 4 at the moment.
Yes,
Picking a winner, it's difficult. If you saw the Glasgow weekend, Connor Bailey was scoring points against world-class riders.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be good.
You can't see it being somebody just going through the card with that.
No, it'd be very, very difficult to see that.
So I think it's going to be much like the championship tomorrow as well, of course.
Yeah. The thing is, the aim for the riders are to finish in the top 2 through the final. Mm-hmm. Then if you're 3rd to 6th, you've got semi-final. So, their aim is to get to that, roughly 10-point mark to get through to the semi-final.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to seeing that next week.
Big deal for Birmingham, really, especially with the new promotion, Lawrence, to get a prestigious meeting like that in the first season as well.
Yeah, we were really pleased. You had to put an application in to do it. Nigel and I decided to go in for it, and we were really pleased when it was awarded to us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's get it again next year when we're in the league.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
I can hope. And then, of course, that last match is going to be quite a match against Cradley, the Alan Graham Memorial.
Yeah, we all making a special night for Big Al. He's a great guy. Sorely missed the whole Graham family are coming and bringing their own sidecars and motocross bikes. We've also got in the second half the Men in Black, and Andy Graham must have a blast round as well. So it's going to be a fun-filled night. When the old enemy from your point of view, Cradley, another one of my old tracks.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably the Heathens should hopefully attract a fair few people along.
I would hope so. I would think so. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, as much as for the fact that it's us against Cradley, and I always like to beat Cradley whenever I get the chance, because I've had too many times over the years when it's been the other way around, unfortunately. Yeah. But Big Al he's just so well liked in this part of the world.
The 2 clubs that he's most synonymous with, I think, isn't he? So
yeah, absolutely. Learned his trade at Birmingham and then moved on to Cradley. And of course, we shouldn't forget John Graham, who also sadly lost his life this year. So the
Graham family have had a very good 12 months from that point of view, and it'd be nicer to remember both of them, really.
Yeah, absolutely. But hopefully, it's going to be a good night and a celebration rather than a somber night.
Yeah,
Very much so. Yeah, I'm trying to get the team together with as many creative connections as I can, like I did for Coventry. I've invited Will Potter to come along to he managed the Heathen, so Will back in action for one night.
Fantastic. I have one more question to ask you, actually, Lawrence. For the under 21, are there still any gaps left for the sponsorship of the riders?
Yes, there are. Yeah, there aren't many, but there are a few still left.
Who's left? Who have we got left? Give us a rundown.
Who have we got left? Let me get my list out here. Well, someone's picked up Max Perry tonight because Max is now in his reserve. Nobody's got Alex Goldsberry yet, who's the second reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody yet has got Henry Atkins. And I'm missing one sheet of paper in front of me to remember who the next one. Nathan Abler hasn't got a rider sponsor yet. We've got, I think, Jodie Scotney's a rider sponsor as well. Other than that, I think most of them are now almost covered, which is brilliant. I'd like to thank everybody for coming in to do that, because that pays for their tyres, it pays for their fuel, it pays towards the travel for the meeting as well, which is a big help for us.
Mm. Mm-hmm. So Nathan Ablett, that's who I'm choosing at the moment. What's he got left, sponsorship wise?
Nathan needs he needs to be the rider sponsor, 50 quid.
Right. Okay, put the Speedway Tavern down for that then, and I'll get that to you.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up, mate?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, mate.
Not a problem.
Helps a lot, mate.
Okay, well, you take care, and I'll let you get back to your cup of tea.
Any night off. Tea?
Well, that's what he told me.
That's what I drink. I don't drink anymore. At Cardiff, people get buying me pints of cider. I'm going, no, I'm not drinking.
Okay.
I drink lemonade and lime nowadays, mate. And you say cup of tea, yeah, I love my cup of tea.
Fantastic. Well, you enjoy it.
Cider at the prices they were charging in Cardiff, Lawrence. Dear me.
I know that. I was quite amazed, mate. People will buy it for me.
Right, well, you enjoy that, mate, and we will get that £50 to you post haste.
Good stuff.
All right, mate.
See you next week.
See you all,
Yep.
see
You
you all
take
next
care.
week, everyone.
Cheers, Lawrence.
Cheers, Lawrence.
Bye-bye.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
mate.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, there we go.
I won't tell you why I couldn't get it to work, because I'm too embarrassed.
You
Did you
switch it
forget
on?
to plug it on?
I was turning up the volume on the wrong channel.
Oh, firstly.
Okay. You probably need to work the pan out because it was only coming through the left.
I've gone through.
side.
I've just gone through manuals and that. It's just one of them things. It just
Okay.
next time it'll probably come up stereo.
Next time, put it on mono.
Yeah,
That would work.
you don't get a choice, to be honest.
Okay. So there's a few comments. We also. Oh gosh, I've just looked at the time. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go through these few comments, and we need to get on to the
I don't know how far we got actually.
prediction league.
How far did we get?
So we're talking about Luke Becker. His mentality is off for me. It showed in Cardiff too, says Spuddy.
Yeah, he just looks beaten. Every time he went on the track, really, as soon as he misses the gate, he just looks beaten. So.
I said Luke Becker. I didn't mean Luke Becker, of course. I meant
Drew Kemp.
Drew Kemp.
Yeah.
I didn't mean Dan Bewley either.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I get my coat?
Yeah.
I think you should get out. Boris Becker. Oh,
Just read a report on Twitter. Plymouth set fire to the track tonight, but the fire brigade were called out. How true this is, I don't know. It's the most bizarre thing I've read.
what?
I've never seen that. Never known that
Spuddy
before.
says, yeah, they did it to dry it out. The fire service didn't put any water on it and it was allowed to continue to burn as it was under control. They showed it on the BSN. It was only a small bit of straw.
Mm.
Okay. Well, it
Only in
didn't work,
Speedway, as someone would say.
as someone would say. Wolves are very publicly full of praise for Leon too. Not so much Drew, which I think speaks louder than anything. I feel for the lad, but he just doesn't fit in. Yeah, it might do him some good to go somewhere else. This happens sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, sometimes I think you move to a track and it doesn't fit. I don't think it's really. He's had one or two good meetings earlier in the season, but I think I've always felt with Drew Kemp, and I think with a lot of riders as well. Zach Weidnick was another one. He's a confidence rider, and if he's on the floor, then you're just not going to get anything out of him. Unfortunately,
he lost his confidence.
Yeah.
Full time, didn't he? So
yeah.
Right, shall we have a look at the prediction league then?
Yep.
Am I still in 17th?
Oh, you're
stable.
Yeah, 17th. Yeah, well done.
Stable. That's what they say to people that are in a coma.
Still very, very tight at the top. So
I've got a few greens there this week. I've got a couple of greens. I'm happy about that.
yeah, it's still tight at the top though, isn't it? If you look at that.
Yeah, 3 points in the table. 5 points in the top three. I mean, that is tight.
Simon and Ben are not on the shout box this morning. I think the pressure is just too much for them. So they've gone out.
So this gives Dave Twine the possibility to catch up then.
Yep.
Dave, yeah. Brum set fire to the Ben won last year.
Yes, they did. Some of the bits of wood are still floating around on the centre green.
Really?
That was then when we had that really bad patch on the first bend when it.
Yeah.
That place where they found that Japanese soldier who thought the war was still on.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah.
let's get on with it
Okay,
then
let's
before
get on with
we start turning this into a political.
Okay, let's go through it as quick as we can then. So
Oxford against Mildenhall is your first
this
one.
is to what's your name again, Chris?
Albert. Fine. Oxford against Milton. Let's go Oxford by 8. People are going.
Mildenhall by 2.
What?
Oxford by 14.
I'm just going to try and get what I can. Have a stupid
Right, Championship Riders final.
Championship Riders
the winner.
final.
We'll just go for the winner
Just
on this
for
one.
the winner, and this down to me. I'm going to say Bomber.
I've said Bomber as well.
I suppose I've got to go for Bummer.
Don't have to.
You,
I want to.
You could go for Tim Brennan.
No.
Sorry, Tom.
Tim.
Ipswich against Wolves is next on Thursday.
That's to you.
Ipswich by 6, I'll go for. Not usually a very happy hunting ground for Wolves, Ipswich.
Well, I think you're being over optimistic. Then
I'll go Ipswich by 14.
I'll say Ipswich by 12.
I'll certainly take my result on that's a point. So. Okay, Peterborough against Kings Lynn is the next one.
That's a difficult one to call, isn't it? It's up to you, Chris.
Kiss. I'll go Kings Lynn by 4.
I'm going to say draw.
I've gone Kings Lynn by 10. Okay. Sheffield against Bellevue.
Sheffield versus Bellevue. That's down to me.
Yep.
That's interesting pointer towards what could possibly be
The dress rehearsal for a semi-final. Or even a final, you don't know.
even a final, yeah. Bellevue by 12.
I've gone Bellevue by 10.
Better go Bellevue by 4.
I think Sheffield would take that.
I don't think they would because they still wouldn't get anything. So.
Well, no,
At the moment, you can't.
but to think they can keep to about Bellevue within 4 points
Yeah.
at their home track. I think
You
they'd
just
take
at the
it.
moment, Bellevue at the moment just look they look like they're in the box seat, don't they? Anyway, Armadale against Bellevue Colts is the next one on Friday.
That's down to you, Matt.
I've gone the Colts by 10.
Yeah, I'll go Bellevue by 12.
Yeah, Bellevue by 6.
Okay, Redcar against Scunthorpe is the next one.
That's to you, Chris.
I'll go Redcar by 8.
Redcar by 10.
Redcar by 12. Pretty much.
I spotted a little pattern there.
Yep. Berwick against Scunthorpe is the next one on Saturday night.
It's down to me, isn't it?
Yep.
Berwick by 2.
Berwick by 8. I've gone.
I'll go. Oh, I've got to start getting some strange results again, haven't I? I'll go Berwick by 12.
You've been to the doctors again.
Yeah, but not for that.
That certainly wouldn't be a strange result. Kent against Plymouth is the next one.
And that's yours.
I've gone Kent by 4 on that.
I'll go Kent by 6.
I'm going to say a draw.
One of these weeks you'll get it right.
Yeah, I've never got a draw right yet.
Mildenhall against Oxford is the next one on Sunday.
Who's that up to?
That's to you.
Is it? I'll go.
NDL, of course.
Oh, I'll go Oxford by 6.
Mildenhall by 6.
I've gone Oxford by 6 as well.
Interesting.
Yep. Okay, then bank holiday Monday morning or lunchtime, Bellevue against Wolves at the NSS.
This is to me, isn't it?
Yep.
Bellevue by 10, which I think you'd probably take.
Confident about that one.
Is it? Well, it's your pick.
Bellevue by 14.
Pretty confident then.
Yeah, very confident.
I'll go Bellevue by 10. Yeah.
Okay, and then
Peterborough against Sheffield is the next one.
Peterborough versus Sheffield, and this is down to yourself.
I've gone Sheffield by 10.
I'll go Sheffield by 14.
I've gone Sheffield by 12. And then that return fixture.
Bellevue, it's Wolves against Bellevue on Monday night at Monmouth. 8 o'clock start.
And it's up to you, Chris.
I'll go Bellevue by 10.
I'm going to say Wolverhampton by 4.
Pardon?
Well, I've gone Wolves by 2.
Right.
So,
Hey! Corrie strikes again.
and the last one, Plymouth against Redcar.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah. That will
Plymouth
be on next
versus
Tuesday show.
Redcar, and that's down to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Plymouth by 8.
I've gone Plymouth by 10.
I'll go Plymouth by 14.
Fantastic. Well, thus ends the Simon, oh God,
Simon!
the Nigel Pearson. I need to,
UK Speedway Tavern. We need to write it down somewhere, don't we, for him, so.
the Nigel Pearson Prediction League. There you go.
Yeah.
The NPPL. There you go.
NPPL, the NPL. The NPL.
Nipple. Can't say nipple, can we?
What nipple? Are we not allowed to say nipple?
No. It's one of those
I
words.
won't
you're not
say
allowed to
nipple
say.
again. Then.
Nipple.
Right, okay.
If you do, don't say nipple.
Do we have any more Speedway news that we would like to talk about,
Have we
gentlemen?
missed any of the? I know we've got to those. Have we caught on those now?
I think we have got them on the
Yeah,
comments.
we've
There
caught
might be,
on those,
it's mainly predictions, isn't it, that we've
Yeah.
got at the moment, so.
Good stuff.
Yeah, Wolves v Bellevue is on Eurosport on Monday, so.
Yep, and the I believe the championship meeting tomorrow is on BSN.
Yeah, it's on
Is that
BSN,
right?
been streamed.
And
And I
the-
believe it's the British Under 21 meeting's been streamed as well on BSN.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
I was
yeah,
just about to say
sorry,
that. Yes, that's been streamed next Wednesday.
And we were
It's
just
all good stuff.
Yeah, we were just talking before the show about how many shows we got left as well. We seem to think we've probably got 2, maybe 3.
Oh, I think we got more than 2.
3.
Maybe 4. It really, wow.
It all depends how it goes.
It really depends. Well, yeah, it depends out whether people stop listening to us. No, it depends on the playoffs, doesn't it? I mean,
Right,
we
okay.
basically want to get as far as covering the playoffs,
Yep.
and possibly get as far as the Grand Prix as well.
Yeah.
So it's all of that. So per Chris, I have to sort of put this out there. Per Chris's workload has gone up recently.
It's crazy.
And so for him to get here
even
and do
though-
this show, I mean, the guy's a hero.
I know I am.
So
I am,
there
yeah.
you go.
Think of me later when I'm out cleaning.
No.
At midnight. Yeah.
Rich Thomas says, well, that's a thought.
Go all
We should go all winter.
I want to find out where he lives.
Rich, where do you live?
Plymouth pub.
Yeah, he's going to say Wolverhampton.
Next to you.
Just say Cridley, so.
Pete Clark says, keep going until winter.
Yes, sod off.
Well, we do.
That's
we
what my
te-
girlfriend
technically
kept
don't
saying
we?
to me, but okay.
Yeah, no, we don't want to
Yeah.
go there, so.
In what regards? Oh, I see. Yeah.
Do we have to,
No,
Wow.
no, I don't think it's in. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's probably saying keep awake.
Rich,
Keep awake.
Rich Thomas says
Swindon.
Swindon-ish. Okay. I think most people in Swindon say Swindon-ish.
I think most people are saying, we're going to see Speedway there again,
Yes.
which
We hope.
we hope.
I mean, things have started moving.
Have they?
I believe so, but I don't know whether they've been moving in the right direction. That music
Is his way of
means-
saying go away?
means Chris wants to go to bed.
Go to bed. Go to work.
Go to work. Everybody take care. Enjoy your meetings over the next week. Good luck to all the riders in the championship tomorrow, and see you soon. Take
Good
care.
night.
Good night.
Have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Where the GA and Matt are here today. Welcome to